Welcome to Wincon 2023. This is pretty cool. This was an idea we had in November to put on our own conference for the first time and to see it come to fruition. The team that's behind this and the team that you're going to see over the next 2 days is something that didn't happen by chance. It happened through incredible intentionality, incredible standard setting, incredible approach of dreaming something and not accepting anything less. This morning I'm going to talk to you about dreaming selfishly, but I'm going to go over some expectations real quick. This is your playbook. That we intentionally built this event to be as tactical as we could. We even put it in this so it would be easier to write on in your seat. This is going to be where your life changes. With events, you come, you absorb all this great information, you walk out that door super motivated, and you get home on Monday or the next day and you're like, shit, what'd he say? Well, I'm supposed to do something now? You're like payroll, subs, employee shit, family shit, kids ain't listening. You're like, none of that meant anything anymore. I'll tell you, we started doing playbooks about 2 years ago for our customer events. This is actually our first public event. It's probably the 20th event we've done as an organization. This is the first public event we've done. And the playbooks, I see people years later still utilizing the information that they wrote down, the notes that they took, the takeaways. So that's what this book is for. There's like 50 pages in here. But I challenge you to take away one thing. As you complete the book, you complete the work, the breakout sessions I'm going to talk about here in a second, I challenge everybody to have one problem, one question, one solution that they want to take away from this event, because the most powerful conversations you'll probably have are at the breakout sessions, or at lunch with the person you've never met before. Hearing someone else's story or having somebody else ask a question may be the biggest aha moment you have. So don't miss an opportunity to solve your biggest problem. If you try to take 50 pages of information away and implement them all tomorrow, you will fail. It will not work. You will be overwhelmed. You'll be disappointed in yourself. You'll be all the things, all the feelings, all the emotions. So I challenge you to think of one thing in your life, business, or relationships that you want to take away from this event to ideally pivot the outcome of the rest of your life. I think we wildly underestimate the generational impact of simple decisions we make every day. Many of you couldn't even imagine where you are today even 12 months ago. Some of you have kids that are your teenagers. And you made massive lifestyle changes in just the last 12 months. So you never know what that decision is going to be. Your badge has this little ring on it, this little circle. That's your breakout group letter. The breakouts will be up these stairs to the left over here. It's broken up into different sections back there with drapery. So that letter. My only request is you move quickly. We have a pretty tight schedule. We're trying to get a lot in over the next 2 days. So just move quickly. But don't be afraid to talk. Those breakout sessions are for you to have a conversation, to ask questions, to get the input you're looking for that maybe you don't get from stage. It's usually, you're not going to be able to hide. We broke them out into a bunch of little groups so you can't hide. You're not going to be able to sit back there and just be the quiet little person in the corner. Hopefully no one calls on me. You're going to get pointed at, you're going to get asked questions. You're going to get forced to do the work, because the work is where the magic happens. The work is where the results come from. The work is where everything changes. Seems fair? So one of my favorite quotes, and I'm going to read it because I love reading it. I read this quote every day. Man in the arena. You're going to look around this room and you're going to hear people talking about the millions of dollars in business they're doing, the incredible family, the new house, the new car, and you're going to start to feel a little bit of an imposter syndrome, which Les is going to talk about later this morning. But I want you all to remember that you are the man in the arena. You are the person trying, testing, evolving. I'm going to read this quote because I love it so much. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. I've been saying this for a long time. No one wins a championship with a clean jersey. No one ever wins a championship with a clean jersey. It's not how it happens. Blood, mud, tears, sweat, failure, mistakes, broken relationships, failed businesses, money issues. The only people that don't ever have those things never try to do anything. Ever. The person who's actually doing the work is going to look muddled. They're going to look beat up. They're going to be the person in the back of the room that can barely lift their head up anymore and feel like they're failing. Failure is necessary. And when I talk about dreaming here in a second, you're going to fail. But there's a difference between failing and losing. Failing's necessary. This entire event, we had planned, when Alicia and I first talked about doing a conference, we said, let's do one in 2024. That'll give us time to plan it. We'll get organized. We'll have all this time. And I said, well, we could think about it for a year, or we could just throw one and see how we fuck up. I said on Friday in our team call, I said, I hope we trip and fall on our face this event so we can learn the lessons that can only learn by being in the arena. But so many people are afraid to fail. They never try, and then they never learn, and they never exceed, they never excel, they never overcome the fears, the anxieties, the frustrations, the lack of self-worth, the lack of, can I even accomplish this? Do I even deserve the dreams I say I want? Doing is how you accomplish. Failure is the only way. But failing and losing are not the same. But everybody has an opinion about it, don't they? Everybody wants to judge what your life looks like. Must be nice. Or the same people saying, you should really take a vacation. You're working too hard. When it comes to dreaming, I'm sure everybody here has had a boss, a leader, an event organizer who gave them a game plan that wasn't their own, and then you kind of like half-ass it. They like tell you what to do, and you're like, that ain't ever gonna work, but I guess I'll try. And you never give it your all. That's what happens when you don't dream selfishly. Because you have people in your life. You have people in your life who love you, care about you, believe in you, want you to win to a point. And that point is typically when they become scared or you exceed what they think you deserve to have. People want to see you win to a point. They want you to be happy to a point. They want you to be successful to a point. They want you to have success and laughter and joy and happiness and a family and money and things and accomplishments to a point they can't dream bigger than. And it's typically the ones that love you the most that care about you so much they don't want to see you hurt. And their approach, their desire, their interest in saving you from pain is diminishing your results, is stopping you from getting to that accomplishment level, that desire, that dream that you have. And then you get to that point, you're there, and then this is where like at one point they're like, go out, be whatever you want to be, honey. I love you. And then like a year later, you accomplish some shit and they're like, when's enough enough? It's like, bitch, it's been a year. I haven't even done anything yet. And because it's somebody you love, you internalize it as they must see something that you don't. Because if your mom or your dad or your siblings or your aunt, your uncle, your grandparents don't believe you can do it, well, who am I to believe I can? These are the people that are supposed to love me the most. These are the people that are supposed to care about me the most. So if they don't believe, who am I to believe in me? Maybe I won't take that risk. Maybe I won't get that house. Maybe I won't take that job. Maybe I won't spend that money or invest that money or save that money. Because if they don't, and maybe it's somebody in your ecosystem. Maybe it's a boss. Maybe it's a peer. Maybe it's your competitor. That you're like, well, if they couldn't figure it out, I'll look up to them. If they couldn't accomplish 5 crews, if they couldn't accomplish $1 million, who am I to think I can? Or maybe it's the employee count. I coach business owners for a living. By the way, I'm Mike Claudio, for anybody who doesn't know. I own WinRate Consulting. This is my team. But I coach people all the time that are like, well, this guy couldn't figure out 5 crews, so I don't know if I'm ready to try. That comparison analysis that steals joy, that steals imagination, that steals tenacity, that steals intent, tactfulness, and intensity. It's always someone else's opinion that starts to muddy your dream and your vision. There's different types of selfishness. There's selfishness to take from others. Takers don't have a limit, givers do. If you've never heard that, please write that down. Because people pleasers end up empty, and takers are always empty. And they will take and take and take and take and take because they're a bottomless pit. Because they're trying to fill a hole you can't fill. So they take and take your time, your joy, your happiness, your success, your money. Take. That's selfishness to take from others. But there's a selfishness that you have to give to others. A selfishness of your power, a selfishness of your time, a selfishness of your vision, a selfishness of how you approach your day, a selfishness of your money. I give, Tiff and I, the last 2 years, we've given $100,000 every year. And I'm selfish as shit because not everybody deserves the best version of me. I'm a giver, and I give endlessly. And in my younger years, that screwed me over real good because I didn't know the difference. I didn't know how to vet the people, the environments, the missions, the leaders I followed. I didn't know how to vet them yet. I just gave to everybody. Gave and gave and gave and didn't feel worthy of asking for. And so I didn't protect myself. I didn't dream selfishly. I didn't operate selfishly. I didn't manage my time selfishly. I didn't manage my money selfishly. And I was empty. The problem is when you're at the bottom of the pit, when you're facing the mud, you can't dream because you can't see. When you're at the bottom and you're empty, you have 1% battery life left. You know how like your phone goes into like low battery mode and like half the shit doesn't work anymore? That's how you operate when you give too much. Part of your operating system starts to shut down. And you can't think for yourself. You can't dream for yourself. You can't visualize for yourself because you're stuck empty. Facing the mud, there's no light, there's no outcome, there's no movement. To dream selfishly means that you have to start to think for yourself. And this is not go from 0 to 100. This is not like one day you're down here and the next day you're like, I am so proud of me. This is great. No, it's like, I hate myself a little bit less. 1% better. I said no to that person for the first time ever, and it felt so relieving. I said no to that event. I said no to that drink. I said no to that party. I said no to that dollar figure. I said no to lending that person money again that I know is just a grant because I ain't never getting it back. That first time you say no to put yourself first is some of the most liberating decisions you can make, because you'll realize that when you say no to that thing, that taker, they'll just go somewhere else to get it. They don't actually hate you. They don't even think about you. They're too in their own head to even worry about what you're doing. They're just like, hey, can I get that? No. Okay, hey, can I get that? No. No. Hey, can I get that? They just won't stop. You know those people. Every week they're with a different set of friends. Every week they're at a different group. Every week they're with different people. Every week they got different interests. Every week they're at different things. Or this week they're NFTs. Next week they're Bitcoin. Then all of a sudden, short-term rentals. Who wants some online real estate? You know what I'm talking about. But you don't go from 0 to 100. You go from 0 to 1, 1 to 2. But the only way you can do that is with a plan. If you don't dream selfishly for you, like I talked about earlier, when you have that person in your life that gives you a strategy that's not 100% yours, the first sign of defect in that plan, you'll stop because it wasn't your plan anyway. You're like, he wants me to go into that fire? This ain't my plan. Screw that. And you'll stop. You'll pivot. You'll adjust. You'll be like, nah, that doesn't look good. Nah, I don't like that either. And you'll do just enough to say you tried. But when you're passionate about something, 100% yours, when your plan is built 100% based on you, you will do anything necessary to make it happen. And you'll enjoy it. One of the biggest things I've learned over the last couple of years is the elimination of happiness and joy in a season can be looked at from two perspectives. When you eliminate things that you want short term for something long term, it can be looked at as a sacrifice or an investment. Anybody here done 75 hard? I assume some of you have. When you're doing it for you, you're excited about it. You're motivated. This is awesome. 4 a.m. club, yeah. And we've all met the people that didn't do it for them, like, yeah, I'm not drinking right now, 75 hard, Fucking miserable, right? When you build your plan for you, the elimination of short-term joy, short-term satisfaction, short-term, whatever that thing is, that vacation, the car, the house, the dinner, the wine, whatever it is you're cutting out, the short-term elimination is exciting because it's for a long-term investment. You're just delaying gratification for your big picture outcome. When you're doing 75 hard for the 7th time, because everybody else is starting on the 1st, so I guess I'll start on the 1st, and 25 days in, you're a fucking miserable human being. You're just drained, no energy, you're just angry. It's because you did it for the wrong reasons. It's because it wasn't your plan. You didn't do it for you. You did it because other people said to do it. And every time you do something you know you don't want to do, you are disgusted with yourself. You don't look at the mirror at the end of the day and say, I won today. You look at everything you missed. I didn't get to go on that date. I didn't get to have that drink. I didn't get to do that thing. I missed this time with my kids. When you're doing it for you, and you're selfish as you can be with that dream and that vision for your life, you're like, God, that was a good day. I crushed it. I won today. Even though same elimination of joy, same elimination of happiness, same delayed gratification. When you do it for others, you start to resent them. Or when you start to negotiate your own standards to protect other people, you're actually creating a barrier of hate between you and them. And every time you do something that goes against what you want for them, another brick gets laid. Fuck him. I guess I won't take that big job because of him. I guess I won't do that thing because of her, another brick. You start to build these walls of resentment. You start to build an environment where you look around disgusted at everybody because you actually can't stand what you see in the mirror because you didn't build your version of you. You start to hate who you are because you did it for everybody else. You wake up one day and you don't even know who you are anymore. You don't even know who you are. You look in the mirror, you look at your routine, you look at what time you're getting up, you look at your body, you look at the way your clothes are fitting, you look at your bank account. You probably don't look at your credit cards at that point because you're like, if I don't look at it, it ain't real. And then your face is in the mud because you're empty. And you look around and you're like, I don't know who that is. I don't know what that is. I don't like that. I hate driving that. I don't even like eating this shit. Chicken and rice again. And then you don't know what to do next because every decision you've made for potentially years has been based on other people's perception of what you should or shouldn't be doing. And then you're stuck. You're stuck living a life of lies. You're stuck living a life built around someone else's vision that you never once went all in on. That you never once said, I'm going to give this everything necessary to accomplish. And everybody goes, this is seasonal. Some people have seasons of their life where they're just feeling on top of the world. And they wake up one day and realize it was all a lie because that person cheated on you. That person lied to you. That person who was telling you to do something they weren't even willing to do. And then you're like, I sacrificed so much for you. But who asked you to do that? Who told you, hey, give to them? They're right, you're wrong, do it their way. Takers don't think about you. It's one of the downsides of narcissism, is they don't even consider your side, like they lack empathy 100%. So those people who are demanding and commanding things of you, they're not even considering your values, your inputs, your factors in your decision making. They physically can't. They're incapable. I interviewed somebody recently on the podcast who's like a national narcissist expert. And I was like, that's a really narcissistic thing to say, isn't it? And she laughed. It was a good interview. But she said, therapists won't even take narcissists on because they physically are not open to change. Because how could you be if you're always right? Most narcissists don't know they're narcissists. They just think they're right, and you must be wrong. And so we have these routines in our life where we start to negotiate our standard down, negotiate our decision making, negotiate our values, negotiate our outcomes, negotiating the things we are or not willing to do, the activities, the requirements, the bending over backwards for people. We negotiate our standard down and down and down. And then one day that person leaves. Whether you finally draw the line or they say, hey, you're empty now, I need to move on to another place to take. And you're left there with that memory, the guilt, the shame, the embarrassment of who you've become. And that's the hardest place to be. Because most people, when they get to that point, have forgotten how to think for themselves. They've forgotten what it looks like to build their own vision. And so it starts with one decision. It starts with the acceptance that for you to become what you're meant to be, you have to be willing to lose everything you believe you have. Because this armor that you've built of these decisions that you've been making, the people you've been around, the habits you've created and developed, you're going to have to shed all of it to reinvent yourself your way. You can't piecemeal it together. You can't start from like, hey, maybe I'll just fix this one part. I'm not going to worry about this part. No, you got to be willing to lose everything and start from scratch, blank sheet. And then only make decisions 100% in alignment with who you want to be. There's 2 questions I ask all my clients to answer because it becomes the guiding force. Like for you to learn how to think for yourself, you need the lighthouse. You need that North Star that's going to drive you when you're uncertain left or right. Because the reality is when you get to a fork in the road on should I or shouldn't I, it's never like, should I kill him or should I go to Burger King? Like it's never that clear. There's never like an obvious right or wrong answer. It's like both of these seem right. It's like too close to tell. So you need that guiding force. You need that North Star. You need that lighthouse that's going to help you determine which direction gets me closer to where do I want to be. So 2 questions are, who do I want to be and what do I want to be known for? When you have those detailed, who do I want to be and what do I want to be known for? When you have that information detailed, it's very clear typically which direction gets you closer to that and which one pulls you further away. The mission of life is to make enough decisions towards who you want to be and what you want to be known for that you become that person. It's not faking it till you make it. It's making decisions as if you are already that person. That's how you become that person. You don't just wake up one day and say, I'm that person now. Look at me. I did it. Every day it's an analysis. Every day it's a journey. Every day it's pivoting. Every day it's realigning. Every day it's coming back to your North Star. Has anybody ever heard of like the alter ego? Utilizing alter ego? Good, no one has, perfect. So utilizing an alter ego is basically utilizing an external or third-party image to help you navigate a situation to act a certain way that you don't think you can act on your own. A lot of people use it on stage. Like I have a friend that he pictures himself as Ric Flair every time he gets on stage. He's this little white guy. He's like, backstage, he's like, I'm Ric Flair, woo! And he goes on stage, and like normally he's just like a little, like he does barely even talks. But the alter ego allows you to take action you wouldn't normally be able to take on your own. One of the more powerful decisions I made was I utilize next year's version of me as my alter ego. What would the matured growth version of me do in this situation? What would the man I want to be and the man I want to represent and the shining, standard-setting, example-setting person, what would that person do in this situation? Because today's version's weak. Today's version's tired. Today's version's annoyed. Today's version wants to crawl up and hide. Today's version doesn't want to help anybody because fuck everybody who doesn't appreciate it. Today's version doesn't want to get out of bed at 4 a.m. Today's version's weak. Because our emotions are liars. Our emotions hold us back. Our emotions tell us, take the easier way. You've earned a day off. You've earned a day to sleep in. Next year's version of me would look back and say, I'm proud of you for getting up because you helped build this version. You helped become this championship version of who I want to be. Those decisions you made last year accumulated 1%, 1%, 1%, compounding effect over 365 days. Look what you built. Be proud. I have body image issues. I'm sure many of us do. I used to be 330 pounds, and once you're fat, you don't ever go back mentally. You're just fat forever. It's just a fact. And I got really tired. I went from 330 to 226. And I was like, 226, like, what is this? I remember it was middle of last year, I looked back at a photo and said, I wish I could have just been happy then. Anybody ever had that thought? Look at a photo, picture you with your kids, a holiday that you were anxious. You just look back at, man, I wish I could have been happy then. Gives me chills just thinking about it, because I made a fucking commitment that day that I'm never going to look back and wish I was happy again. I'm just going to be happy. I'm just gonna be happy today. I'm gonna be happy with where I am because I am responsible for everything I do or don't have right now. I'm 100% responsible for who I am, what I have, the team I've built, the lifestyle I have. I'm 100% responsible for it. I'm happy with where I am today, but I'm not done. I think so many people view happiness as satisfaction. I'm good. I'm gonna take a break. You're allowed to be happy with where you are today and not be done. That's a life mission I hope to pour into as many people as I can, because to become the championship version of you, you are never done evolving. One of our core values is continually evolve, because you can never stop evolving. But you can be happy with where you are. You've made a lot of really good decisions in your life. Some of you have made life-changing alterations in just the last 12 months, but you're like, man, look at that guy. I suck. God, I got nothing. Some of you are literally millionaires who couldn't put food on the table or gas in your car within the last 5 years. And somehow you haven't done enough? Dreaming selfishly means everything I do or don't do today, everything that I am today is mine, so I can be happy with it. Dreaming selfishly allows you to wake up and say, this is my life. I built this. This is my body. I built this. This is my family. I built this. This is my company. I built this. It's mine. Am I done? No. But I'm happy with what we've accomplished so far. You can only say that when you do it your way. When you start to negotiate your standards down, you don't like what you have. You don't like who you are. You don't like what you built. You don't like what you have. You don't like who you're around. I've met so many business owners that don't even want to go into their own companies anymore. I hate that guy in operations. Fire him. She never does what she says she's going to do. Fire her. This is your life. I heard Jordan Peterson said something. Everybody know who Jordan Peterson is? Awesome guy. He said something the other day. He says, never let your kids do something that would make you hate them. I don't care if my kids hate me. They have a fucking standard. And they know it. There's no question in the world. They know it. But people all around you will do shit all the time that make you hate them, and you keep coming them in. You keep letting them in. You keep letting the hobbies in that you don't want to do, the habits in you don't want to do, the routines in you don't want to do. You keep finding your way into Pornhub. You don't even know how you got there. Turn on Xbox again. You know you shouldn't be doing it. Stop at the liquor store. You're like, I said I would never going to do this again. I've quit drinking more times than I've drank, I think. You are in full control. And what you're going to hear over the next 2 days are tools, tactics, skills, strategies to take control of your life, your business, and your relationships. But no one's going to come to save you from your own mistakes. That's the part that sucks. Right now, you got this borrowed energy. You're like, I'm going to run through a brick wall. Thanks, Mike. Yeah. Please don't. I got to pay for that. But then you go home and you go back to the same habits, same routines, same decisions. Nothing changes. So 2 of the things that I do on page 9 and 10, my champion's legacy statement. That's my personal champion's legacy statement. What that is how I self-coach myself every day. It's broken down into 7 categories, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So the I ams are reminders. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is what I want to be. I am. Because sometimes I need to be reminded. I know for a fact I'm an influential person of authority that people look to. But I'm the same Mike from 3 years ago that hates himself. I'm the same Mike from 3 years ago that's inconsistent in the gym sometimes. I'm the same Mike from 4 years ago that was 330 fucking pounds. I'm the same Mike that has a drinking habit. I don't get drunk, but I like wine and bourbon. Like, I'm not even gonna be sorry. I have a very expensive collection. Why would I let it just sit there? You know what I mean? Let's love on it. But I am. I will. When's the last time you even checked in on what you are going to do to move towards the person you want to be? When's the last time you even checked on it? Most people wake up every day. I'm going to work hard today. Make it a great day. Tomorrow, I'm going to work hard today. Make it a great day. You just react to the day every day. You just wait for the first fire to pop up. You just wait for the first issue to pop up. You're just like, hey, I got today. I'm going to go to the gym today. And you wake up, your kid's like throwing up in the living room. You're like, shit. I'll leave them there. I'm going to the gym. I got shit to do. But when's the last time you even checked in on what you will do? And not I might do, and not I hope to do, and not maybe God willing one day I'll have. What will you do? Zero doubt. I wore this shirt intentionally. No matter what you want to be, no matter who you are, no matter what you will do, it's something you've never done before, which means it will come with fear. Get comfortable with fear. But fear doesn't stop action. Doubt does. You can be afraid of a roller coaster, you can be afraid of a plane, you can be afraid of a lot of things, but you'll still do it if you believe that you will be okay. The minute you start to doubt your ability to overcome the challenges that come with what you will do, you stop taking action. Because you're like, all right, you're right here, and you're like, all right, I can do this step, I can probably do that step, this step I got, I have no idea what to do there, so I'm gonna stay over here. One of my favorite sayings is, you don't need to see the whole staircase, take the first step. What you forget in your journey so far is you learned in step 1 everything you needed for step 2. In step 2, you learned everything you needed in step 3. In step 3, you got all the tools, weapons, attributes to solve step 4. You're not supposed to know what to do in step 4 and step 1. That's why there's steps. But the doubt is what stops you. When you have clarity on the vision, you have clarity on the mission, you have clarity of who you are, I am, and you have clarity of what you will do, you will take the next step. Most of the time, when you're looking at what you will or won't do, I want you to not think about what will happen if I do it, because that's normally what you say. Well, if I do this, then this might happen. Ask yourself what won't happen if you don't do it. Think about how many things in your life right now would not be there if you did not take some of those risks and some of those actions. If I come here, I might fall. If I come here, I might fail. If I come here, I might go bankrupt. If I come here, I might lose my marriage. If I come here, I might get fat again. If I come here, I might go back to those old habits. But if I don't go there, I am stuck here. I am stuck where I am in life. I am stuck where I am financially. I'm stuck where I am in my relationships. I'm stuck. If I don't go there, I am stuck with this pile of shit. There's always going to be fear, but you can't have doubt. The doubt is what stops action. The doubt is what holds you back. I'm not going to go through all of this, but you can see what it is. Ideally, in your breakout session today or tonight, when you get back to your hotel room or your home, you fill out your champion's legacy statement. I got 2 minutes. My championship day, page 12. Part of becoming who you are is winning the day. What we forget as humans is it's our job to define what winning looks like. It's not his opinion, her opinion, their opinion, my kid's opinion, because if you have kids, you know you ain't ever winning. It's like we were talking about it earlier, you get the best gift in the world, they're playing in the fucking box. You can't win. So you have to define what winning looks like for you. Your championship day is broken into 3 categories: for you, for others, and for your business or career. Every one of those items you have to have 100% control over. You can't say I'm going to close deals because that requires other people. You can't say I'm going to collect checks because that requires other people. You can't say I'm going to make my kids happy today because that requires your kids. Everything on that list has to 100% only rely on your ability to execute. For you, for others, and for the business. That way, no matter what hits the fan, no matter how many problems you have, money issues, employee issues, client issues, marriage issues, money issues, whatever it is, all that stuff's outside your control. This list means I won the day. I can look in the mirror at the end of the day and say, I won the day. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of clients that start doing this process and then get away from it. Look, man, I just can't feel like getting my mind right. I'm all feeling all over the place. I'm like, well, what's your championship day look like? They're like, it's been like 4 months since I looked at that. Try it. Try tomorrow. I get a text message. Bro, man, this is great. I feel awesome today. You know exactly what I'm talking about. This allows you to come back to that lighthouse daily to be who you want to be and what you want to be known for. But for any of this to work, for you to be and have and believe the things you want in your life, the vision has to be 100% yours. Here in a minute, I'm going to sit up here and answer questions about this. I want you to ask questions about this because it's difficult to deliver this universally. So I want to help you figure this out. So we're going to have some Q&A here in a minute. But you have to understand that you're going to lose everything you believe to be true to find that person. Relationships, routines, habits, money, everything. You're going to lose all of it to become who you want to be. That's part of the journey. It's part of how it works. Because like I said earlier, everybody wants you to win to a point that they believe you are capable or worthy of. The minute you go above that, they got to start pulling you back. I'll never forget it. Like, this is my final story, and then we'll introduce Dustin here in a second. But in 2019, my wife and I sold our house, paid off debt, moved into a townhouse with a desire to grow the business. Everybody's like, what are you doing? We moved out like a 3,300 square foot house on like a 1/4 acre lot into a townhouse. Kids were sharing a room. They're like, you had everything. Who's everything? We sacrificed. I made $300,000 in 2020, and we drove paid off cars, living in a townhouse with a $1,300 mortgage. Bought a new house thanks to this man right here. Built an online presence. Let's give a round of applause to Michael Bryce. So when we decided in 2022 to go buy a house, we wanted to make the next step. Build an audience, guys. I made one post. I want 3+ bedrooms, 2+ acres, budget $1.2 million. I have never met this man. He knew me. He goes, hey, this listing just went local in Greenville. I don't know if you're looking to move here, but it was like the fucking house. It was it. 5 minutes later, I'm in the car driving here. Bought the house the next day. And I worked so hard and sacrificed so much against what everybody else thought I was supposed to do. The first thing my mom said when she walked in the house is, are you sure you can afford this? I said, bitch, do you have any idea what I've done to earn this? Just because she can't comprehend a $6,500 a month mortgage, because that's what she makes, I must not be able to. So her first inkling is to like, please be safe. Please don't hurt yourself. Please don't fall. Please don't fail. Don't put yourself at risk like this. Please. And as the good, loyal son I used to be, yes, ma'am, anything to make you happy. This time it was, bitch, please. This is mine. I built this. I earned this. I worked for this. I sacrificed for this. I invested for this. I did everything I was supposed to do. Now my life is mine. I never once dreamed to be able to throw a 2-day event with 10 speakers and every one of them be on my team, our team, the WinRate team, There's no outside support for this event other than AV because we don't have 86-inch televisions just lying around. This is my team, my life, my way. And it all started in 2018 when I made a decision to go all in on me. It's gonna take longer, it's gonna be harder, it's gonna cost more money, you're gonna lose more relationships, you're gonna hate some people, people are gonna hate you, but you gotta wake up every morning and say, this is mine. I'm happy with where I am, but I'm not done yet. Please do that. Not for me, not for them, for you. Do it for you. Thank you.